Hello and welcome back to the Kaiser Group's Personal Protection Series. What we have here and what you're looking at right now is an array of protective items. These are things that you can carry with you depending on the laws in your state, what kind of qualifications and competency and certifications you have, as well as licenses. I know here in the state of Florida, in order to carry a concealed weapon, you must have a concealed weapon permit. And the state takes a very dim view of people protecting themselves without proper training or qualification. So whatever state that you're in or whatever municipality that you're in, make sure that you comply with the rules and regulations and any training and certification that you need and must have in order to protect yourself adequately. But I'm going to show you that some of these items that you're looking at right now, anyone can carry, and they can be very, very effective even though they're not lethal, or what's termed less than lethal. And we're going to cover these right now. We want to start with the most important item, and that is your communication. Okay, just having a cell phone with you and having the availability of a response. You can dial 911 from any cell phone, and they can also, if you have your GPS activated, they can also determine where you are in case you're not able to give them any information. So having a cell phone, and most people do, is your first line of defense and alert. And that's what we're talking about. We want awareness. We want to be able to alert others, and then we want to be able to protect ourselves either through non-lethal or less than lethal means, or if we have to go the full gamut, we can protect ourselves if we're being threatened, if our lives are being threatened, we can respond appropriately. So let's start from the beginning. We covered the cell phone, and that's self-explanatory. What you see now is a flashlight, and you can see the window here. So this will tell you right away that it is a solar powered flashlight, and it lights up very brightly, and this is in daylight here. So this is a beam that is a high powered beam. Now, will this render someone powerless? No, but will it distract them and temporarily blind them if all of a sudden you activate this in their face? It most definitely would, and they can become disoriented. But just the fact that you've got this, possibly in one hand, okay, ready to activate it while you walk out to your car, or you're in an area where you perceive it might be a high threat area, is letting the individual know that you're not the average person who would be an easy victim. You're aware, you're alert, and you're ready to respond. The other form of precaution that they would take a look at if a certain predator would be sizing up their prey or their victim, they could see this, and this could be in your hand. Now this is highly visible, and you could have this in one hand and this in the other, or both in one hand, but this will give you about 120 decibel range. And I'm not going to blow this loud, but I am going to blow this just so you can get an idea. Now, I just used about a quarter of a breath there, and I already got it probably up to 70, 80, 90 decibels. The nice thing is that there's no moving part here, so nothing can go bad. Fits easily in the hand. Again, it signifies that you're alert and you're aware. And walking to your car with something like this, being able to alert others that you're in danger or you're perceiving a danger, goes a long way to having your predator or the criminal think twice about approaching you. Another thing that you can have in your hand that is less than lethal, and that is pepper spray, or mace as we used to call it. Now, this is something that can be activated with just a simple twist, and all of a sudden you're ready to spray. Now, the transmission of this spray can be anywhere from 1 to 10 feet, depending on the size and the canister and the aerosol propellant. So a little one like this would give you at least 6, possibly 8 to 10 feet of a perimeter of protection. And again, anyone thinking about attacking you would certainly think more than once, more than twice, with either one or all three of these elements outside in full view as you're approaching your car. And that's one of the most vulnerable areas that you will ever have. is approaching your car in an area of business like a mall or a shopping center. Another thing that is less than lethal but certainly gets their attention is what appears to be just a simple flashlight. And that's what it is at this point. It's a flashlight, again, nice and bright, but if you advance the button a little bit more, it becomes a taser. Now there's over 750,000 volts, but just hearing this would certainly make people think twice about this. It's rechargeable. It's not solar powered because you require more than that. But 12 volts and a rechargeable battery, and I have not used this or even tried it for months before this morning, and it's still carrying a full charge. So each one of these will render in different degrees someone powerless or distracted, or render them unable. If you come in contact, and it takes contact, these don't shoot out darts, this particular taser. You have to make contact with an individual. But most of the time, people will pass you up if they see that you're prepared and equipped. And again, you can see this can be carried right by your side. This comes with a belt loop. But again, to show people that you mean business and that you don't have to take a second or 2 or 3 steps to bring it out, you've got this in your hand, and anybody approaches you, one little quick zap of that and they will think twice. Okay, now let's move on from the not lethal to less than lethal, and then of course to the lethal. Okay, this is a simple folding knife, and I like a folding knife in that it is safe, but anytime that you need it, you've got it. Okay, so this is a nice grip. It fits securely, but believe me, the last thing that you want to get into is in a knife fight. That requires close proximity. You don't know what kind of weapons the other person has, and I would not go around flashing this around. Again, it could easily be identified as a weapon, and if you don't have the proper certification, the training, I wouldn't advise it. And there's too many websites going on around now that are teaching you how to, knife fight, and that's something that requires close quarters and very few winners in that situation. But I wanted to point it out. So you've got a folding knife, and then you have one that's in a sheath. This would fit, again, it could fit in a boot, it could fit in a waistband, very thin, very light. You don't have the same control, but you do have the concealment. But again, you really don't want concealment. You want to show people that you're ready and aware. And nothing tells people that you're ready better than a Glock. This is a 9mm that we have here. Very safe gun, even loaded and chambered, okay? And it is one of the safest guns you can have, okay? Is it for everyone? No. And again, the laws are very strict as to what you can or can't carry. But I'm pointing this out because these are your options. And when you're out in an area or you're in your car and outside the home, the principles you want to remember is awareness, being able to alert and identify, being able to signal for help, being able to protect yourself in non-lethal or less than lethal ways, and then being able to match whatever firepower or whatever protection or aggression your aggressor displays. We're going to talk a little bit more about concealment, and that is a total another area, but we'll be talking about that in the next workshop. Thank you for your time. Hi, Bill Kaiser here, and we're back and continuing with the personal protection series. And the topic this morning is the less than lethal, non-lethal, and lethal items that you can carry. So we had these in an array, and you saw all of these separately. We explained what they did, and now we're going to show some examples on how to carry these. There's a number of ways that you can carry these items. Again, you have to check with your state and municipality laws to make sure that you're not in violation of certain concealed or weapon carry laws. So make sure you find that out first and take this information and make it apply to in conformance with your states. Okay. What you see here is just a little pouch, and you know, if this was compared to a woman's purse, it would be a small purse. It's something that could be carried, there's a strap for a shoulder, you could carry it here. There's even a belt loop in the back, so you could carry it here. Okay, fairly collapsible, folds up. You can keep this compacted and put away until you need it. But this will hold every one of those items that we showed you in the previous video. Okay, another alternative is a backpack. Okay, a lot of people carry these, and this is something especially carried over one shoulder. You've got access and rapid access to almost any of the compartments that you need. You can lower this quickly with this strap, swing it around the front, reach in, and you've got whatever less than lethal or lethal item that you want to respond with. So this is very effective, and it's non-threatening. And like I say, a lot of people walk around carrying it, and it will hold a whole lot of product. What I like to use is the simple fanny pack. Now I know in the past this packs have been disparaged, and you know, is that a fanny pack, haha? And that's true. It all depends on what you have in it. And if you're talking about your safety and how you want to be able to respond and respond quickly, there are very few things that will serve you better than a fanny pack. The other thing is that it can be moved around easily. Veer to the front in case you want to respond quickly. You can pull whatever you need out, charge it, and be ready to fire and respond. Okay? Less than lethal. There's a number of different containers and packages here. So we can start with the outer compartment, and in the outer compartment I've got a flashlight and I've got my whistle. Okay, so I can respond appropriately, and I don't even have to look. I know where it is located. Okay, zip it open, there it is. Who's that? Am I going to need some help? And you've got your flashlight and your whistle. The middle compartment, we can bring this out. Again, this can be attached to the side of it if you want a quicker response. We've got another flashlight in the first level. Okay, who is that? Stay away from me. I do not want you any closer. I'm warning you right now. So this is accessible, again, in less than a second. Okay? The other thing is that if you don't want to have to get so close to somebody that you have to touch them in order to activate that taser, this is something you can hold it. This is, you know, one quick flip, stay away. You need to stay 6 to 10 feet away. Tell me what you need or what you're looking for or why you're approaching me in the dark in this parking lot. Okay, so this is something that will really get people's attention, and you've got that. And then last but not least, you've got lethal protection. Okay, so you've got everything you need. It can be put right here. You can put a coat on, hardly visible at all, swing it around. Now everything's accessible. So we're talking about quick seconds to respond and be able to protect yourself and your loved ones in a meaningful way, hopefully with less than lethal response. This is Bill Kaiser signing off.